What is going on, my peoples? Welcome back, welcome back. I hope everybody is doing well today on this beautiful day, should I say. Thank you so much for joining the brother today to check out this interesting, should I say educational video? Is this one of them educational ones? Highly recommended by my lovely Canadian supporters. Thank you very much. Here we go. Feel free to check out the Twitch and Patreon as well in the description. Before we actually jump into this video, special shout out to Make That Change. That's right. If you're doing something wrong in life, I suggest you make that change. I don't know why I was thinking about that. It's just the title. It's just the YouTube name, Make That Change. And yeah, fabulous channel. Let's go ahead and see what facts they bring to us today. Original video link will be in the description. We got 10 mind-blowing things you didn't know about Canada. You know, my American behind didn't know. Well, maybe it's been a minute. Hopefully I learned some new things today. You know what I'm saying?
Comes to your mind when you think about Canada?
Maple syrup, hockey, and politeness.
Turns out there's a lot more quirky things that make Canada's history, culture, and geography pretty unusual.
So today we're gonna share 10 mind-blowing things about this country.
When I saw some of this, I was like, wait, what? And let's play a game. Keep a count of how many things you didn't know and let us know in the comments below. And if you didn't know at least 5 out of 10, this video deserves a like.
Hey, if I know all of these, say I know at least 6 out of 10, am I like a true Canadian? I mean, not true Canadian, but like, I mean, can I be accepted or something to the culture? Like, would the people accept me?
Let's go.
Let's see.
When we think about Canada, we imagine mountains, snowy prairies, and vast forests. The last thing most of us think of is sandy beaches, sea waves, and marinas full of yachts. But wait, spanning over 240,000 kilometers, Canada has the longest coastline in the world. This coastline stretches longer than any other country on Earth. To put that into perspective, if you take this line and wrap it around our planet, it will wrap around a whopping 6 times.
What?
A mare usque ad mare.
What?
Will wrap around a whopping 6 times.
Oh, I didn't know that before. I knew I had the biggest coastline, but I didn't know the whole Earth? The whole Earth 6 times? Gosh.
A mare usque ad mare is the official motto of Canada. It translates to from sea to sea.
Okay.
It spans from the rugged Pacific Ocean in the west through the icy Arctic waters up north to the vibrant Atlantic shores in the east, embodying the boundless spirit of this remarkable land. Not everyone is into surfing Arctic waves. After all, it's so cold up there that even maple syrup starts to freeze.
Oh.
That's why only 15% of Canadians live near the coast.
15%? What they do for a living? What they do for a living? They gotta be running a business that's like, I'm talking about ice fishing or something, right? No way they just living there like, hey, hun, why not just live here? No. We got some people that really love the cold. Like, they really love the cold. I mean, hey.
Of these, over 3.2 million people reside on the Pacific coast and over 2.2 million are on the Atlantic coast. But, while some Canadians stick to the edges of the country, others dig deep, literally.
Deep under the Lake Huron in Ontario lies the largest underground salt mine in the world, the Goderich mine. This thing is so massive that it's about the same size as the town of Goderich, covering a surface area of 7 square kilometers beneath the Lake Huron.
What? How many workers you got up in that thing? What? Man, I'm talking about it gotta be 1,000 plus workers up in that. I want to do a video on this. Is it that big? No
Tunnels
way.
go as deep as 550 meters below the lake. This is enough to fit the Toronto CN Tower in there.
What?
Opened in 1959.
Stop it, bro. And y'all, I told y'all last video, I'm sorry if I was yelling. Y'all go ahead and lower that volume on your TVs, your mobile device, or your watch, whatever you're watching me off of. Because it's about to get real. No. She just said you could fit the CN Tower under there. I've been telling people for the longest, they got stuff underground. They got cities and stuff, man. Something going on underground that we don't know about. They've been fitting cities under there for years. You talking about the CN Tower could... Come on. They didn't just think it. You talk about the CN Tower could literally fit... Oh, bro.
This is enough to fit the Toronto CN Tower in there. Opened in 1959, the mine is still operational, producing rock salt, which ends up all around North America. It helps all of us stay safe on the snowy and icy roads. Since the mine is operational, taking tourists below the surface is sadly not an option. But
I mean, like, guys, they had to be doing that back in times, right? Back in ancient times, right? That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
how cool would it be to check it out? You can learn more about the mine at the Huron County Museum or experience the mine virtually.
Guys, I'm talking about fact 3. I didn't know none of this.
Now let's zoom out. Have you ever wondered how time zones became a thing? You can thank Canada for this.
Canada
Back
big,
in
yeah.
1876,
You want to learn about time zones? Learn about Canada. You want to learn about time zones? Learn about Australia. Learn about time zones? Learn about Europe in general.
Sir Sanford Fleming, a Scottish-born Canadian engineer, found himself stranded overnight at a railway station after a mix-up over train departure times.
That
He got
sucks.
really frustrated, but also inspired, so he came up with an idea of the global system of time zones that we use today. So the next time you miss a train, remember, you can turn waiting time into a world-changing idea. This idea divided the world into 24 time zones, labeled A to Y, skipping J. Each letter covered 15 degrees of longitude. All clocks within each zone would be set to the same time as the others, but differed by 1 hour from those in the neighboring zones. While Fleming's exact system wasn't universally adopted, it laid the foundation for the time zone structure countries use today. In Canada, time zones run with 1 hour offset, but Newfoundland and Southern Labrador decided to adopt a different approach. Their time zone has a 30-minute offset from UTC in the Americas. Why is that? Well, in the late 19th century, Newfoundlanders chose their 30-minute offset because that was close to the local solar time in St. John's. That's the city where most Newfoundlanders lived. If you ever missed a Zoom call due to time zones mix-up, you can thank Canada.
Huh.
To make up for that, Canadians supply the world with the golden goodness, maple syrup.
Oh my gosh. I got to try some of this maple syrup, man. You know? Like, what's so good about it? I can't go to the store after this video and go try some maple syrup? No? I'm about to go get some maple syrup. I'm about to show y'all the maple syrup I got. The maple syrup I got, it's not, I mean... I actually was for a second. But then I was like, then it means I gotta take it back downstairs. I didn't want to do that. Let's keep it rolling. It wouldn't be the same maple syrup anyway.
Speaking of which, Canadians are proud of their maple syrup. They love it so much that they're ready to serve time for it.
That looked golden. That looked like honey.
In 2012, Canada had the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. The story became so famous that there's even a Wikipedia page dedicated to it. Thieves stole over 3,000 tons of maple syrup from a Quebec storage facility.
No.
That's nearly $19 million. That's an equivalent to about 24 million Canadian dollars today. The theft was actually accidentally discovered during an annual inventory check of syrup barrels in 2012. The inspector started climbing up the barrels and nearly fell, expecting to step firmly on the sturdy 600-pound barrels. But they were wobbly. It was an insider job, and police ended up arresting 17 men related to the theft. If you're curious to learn how they did it, the theft was featured in the Netflix docu-series.
It's on Netflix? It's on Netflix? Should I do a video on this? I'm gonna have to do a video on this.
Dirty Money. In 2018, Season 1...
I've seen this so many times and never took it upon myself to watch. Are you serious right now, dude? Do I got time? When was this video made? Do I got time?
Episode 5.
I hope it's still on there.
Called The Maple Syrup Heist. On December 6th, 2024, Amazon released the dark comedy TV series The Sticky, inspired by the heist, and it's rated 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good.
Good to know.
While it's not the largest heist in monetary terms, the maple syrup heist is big for the sheer volume of product stolen and the impact that it had on the key Canadian maple syrup industry. Adjusted for inflation, it remains the most valuable theft in Canadian history.
Was it really that bad? I mean, it's just syrup. Who steals? It's not about the syrup. It's about the fact of, like, what if they sold that? Like, they sold all of it at once. Even over the time to companies and restaurants and stuff, they would have made a lot of money. I mean, my goodness. Just make sure the government don't find out, but they would have been well off. What a point. You think they really just enjoyed maple syrup to the point where it's like, why not rob it? Let's have a lifetime supply.
With the recent Pearson Airport gold heist following up right next, where 20 million of Canadian dollars were stolen. And yes, Canadians were deeply offended by this crime. This wasn't just syrup, it was national pride.
It was. Yeah.
Another
so
subject
syrup.
of Canadian pride is the fact that Canada is one of the world's top exporters of clean energy. For starters, hydroelectricity is the largest renewable energy source in Canada, accounting for approximately 60% of all electricity Canada
I
generates.
actually learned about this right here. Imagine falling into this stream or something like that. Like, what happens? Like, well, I think we all know what happens. You go ahead and win yourself a Doran Award, right?
Great. Other renewable energy sources, such as biomass, wind, tidal, and solar, bring this number to 63%. Add nuclear energy to this, and we end up with over 77% of Canada's electricity generated without emitting greenhouse gases.
Ooh.
Canada not only powers itself with clean energy, but also exports large quantities of electricity to the United States, helping reduce carbon emissions across borders. For instance, 15% of electricity used in the state of New York comes from Quebec.
No! What? How? Wait, I'm so confused. 50% of New York's electricity comes from Quebec? Is it because, like, so much power, so much electricity out there in the city, you know, it's just too much to handle for our country or, like, the area? So it's, like, the best place to pull that power from? That, you know, that power is from Quebec? Which, I mean, I guess you could say it's not really that far from New York City. It's really not, but it is far enough, like, to think, like, wait a minute, you're pulling power from here?
Think of it as Canada's way of lending a hand, or, you know, a kilowatt. The energy sector is a major driver of Canada's economy, contributing billions annually while staying ahead of the curve in sustainability. But you already knew that. What you may not know...
I ain't know that. Wait a minute. If you guys already knew this, that means I'm... Wait a minute, what y'all learning out there?
Is that Canada's growing its investment into wind, solar, and nuclear energy, making this country so attractive that even the Americans want a piece of it.
You're fired.
Even though we are known for our cold weather, when it comes to energy, we're pretty hot. Let's go over to the magical islands of Nova Scotia next. The Sable Island, to be more exact.
It's so beautiful out there in
Situated
Nova
300
Scotia.
kilometers southeast of Halifax, this remote stretch was once dubbed the Graveyard of the Atlantic, with nearly 400 shipwrecks around it.
I want to go see a shipwreck. You got the big behind ship sitting in the ocean. It been here for years. Some people say don't go near them, don't touch them, they're haunted, this and that. You know, you could get hurt severely on them. You could get diseases and stuff.
But the most fascinating thing about it is that it's home to about 500 wild horses. The first horses were released on the Sable Island in the late 1700s by settlers from Boston, though legend has it, some may have been borrowed from unsuspecting fishermen. Later, additional horses were brought in to improve the herd's breeding stock. Originally intended for private use and slaughter, this exploitation pushed the horses to the brink of extinction by the 1950s. And that turns their story into one
19. We didn't even get a chance to see.
Of survival against the odds. So in 1960s, the Canadian government decided to protect the horses by law in their feral state. As a result, the herd had developed a unique genetic composition that brought the attention of conservationists.
I would have this one in my backyard. Really nice. Really nice. That boy got locks. He got my hairstyle.
The Sable Island horses have become such a distinct feature of the region that they were designated an official symbol of Nova Scotia in 2008. And a few years later, in 2011, this place was declared as the Sable Island National Park Reserve.
If you're like me and you love horses, you can visit the island in January and February and from June to October. Just make sure you have Parks Canada permission in advance. The island is accessible by air or by sea and only day visits.
What you mean by air? By air? It got an airport on it? It got a landing pad? Is that what that's called? A runway? I said a landing pad. Like it's a helicopter, bro. I'm thinking of the runway.
February and from June to October. Just
it says helicopter. Oh.
make sure
Maybe that says a tour though. Dust, you got too much dip on your chip, Strac. Is it okay? Maybe they got airport.
you
or
have
something.
Parks Canada permission in advance. The island is accessible by air or by sea and only day visits are permitted. Just remember to leave no trace and don't feed the wild horses. From the windswept shores of Nova Scotia, let's head inland and discover another Canadian treasure. It's lakes.
It's like if I put this type of water in a jar, it's gonna be that same color, right? That's what you got me thinking. It gotta be. I like food coloring at that point. Food coloring. This looks crazy. It's almost like a cartoon, you know? You don't want to go in a swamp. You grumpy old troll. Stuff
With
like that.
60% of world's lakes,
That
more
is
than
so
2 million
beautiful.
of them, Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world combined.
2 million,
While
baby.
many places in the
over 2 million.
world declare freshwater access emergencies, Canada contains more than half of the world's freshwater reserves. Let it sink in. Canada has so many lakes that if you only measure actual land area and exclude the lakes area, Canada is no longer the second largest country in the world, not even the third. It will drop behind the US. Some lakes in Canada are
So much water. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Like if all the water from Canada was to just drop onto the US, we would be flooded. We would be flooded.
so big they feel like a sea.
Like wiped
40
out.
million residents of the United States and Canada depend on the fresh drinking water supplied by the Great Lakes water system. Canada's lakes power is not to be taken lightly. While oceans often steal the spotlight for their global importance, lakes are just as vital for the global and local ecology.
Oh, yes, of
They
course.
shape weather patterns, support ecosystems, and even impact climate. The lakes play a massive role in the Canada's ecology, acting as a crucial player in the water cycle that sustains life across the entire country. They're not just scenic, they're essential. And as essential as they are, we haven't even fully studied them yet. Up until today, scientists haven't been able to see too far below the surface of the lakes. In fact, scientists have only accurately catalogued about 100 lakes so far.
You got a long way to go. There's only 100.
The Great Lakes hold water from glaciers that melted 20,000 years ago. It's mind-boggling to think about what secrets or discoveries might be hidden down there. Ancient ecosystems, unknown species, or maybe a monster or two.
Why are we not searching? Come on. Canada could be, holding all of the secrets that the world has been searching for, been wanting to find. And what, only 5-6% of the ocean discovered? What else is living down there that we don't know about? I mean, my goodness, jeez, we gotta check these lakes. We gotta check these lakes. I feel like, if Canada were to get explored, which we know is not gonna happen, leave everything at peace unless believe in the myths, I don't know if that would ever happen. You guys feel that Canada would start like an exploration where they get to going deep below the lakes and stuff? It's gonna take a long time, but 2 million, over 2 million lakes. Oh my gosh, you're bound to find something. You think so? What if you don't? Waste of time and a waste of money.
Who knows? Canada's lakes are keeping their secrets. For now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Here's another force with some secret funky moves. Did you know that Canada's magnetic North Pole is always on the move? So let's start from the beginning. Imagine you're standing at the North Magnetic Pole. It's a rather special spot on Earth. All the planet's invisible magnetic field lines dive straight down into the ground. If a compass needle could move in all directions, it would point straight down there. What's even more mind-blowing is, no matter which direction you step in the North Pole, it will technically be south everywhere. There's no north left to go since you're already at the northernmost point.
Oh, you say it like that? It makes a lot of sense. I never thought about it like that.
That absolute north point is not fixed. It's constantly shifting due to changes in Earth's magnetic field. And guess what? It's been moving away from Canada, towards Siberia at an alarming rate. This is where we wanted to insert a joke, somewhere along the lines of,
"See, even the North Pole is leaving Canada."
but we thought to ask you to come up with a funny line on this. Let us know in the comments below.
You see, if it was vice versa, I mean, not vice versa, if the North Pole was closer to the U.S., then I guess the joke would hit. I was gonna think of a crazy joke that would have, you know, it would have outlived all of us. I was gonna think of something crazy. If it was, you know, connected to the U.S., I'm like, see, even the North Pole's leaving the U.S., even they ditching us. It would have, yeah, my jokes would have been cruel.
The North Magnetic Pole went on quite a journey, drifting nearly 1,000 kilometers. But since the 1970s, it's really picked up the pace, zooming from a leisurely 9 kilometers per year to a rapid 52 kilometers.
Oh.
Back in 2007, members of the expedition to locate the magnetic North Pole wrote that such expeditions have become logistically difficult because the North Pole moves farther away from inhabited locations. They expect that in the future, the magnetic pole position will be obtained from satellite data instead of ground surveys. The magnetic field movements is not a new thing. Over the life of Earth, the orientation of the Earth magnetic field has reversed many times. And that's an event known as a geomagnetic reversal. In the modern world, such an event could disrupt communication systems and power grids. Animals who rely on magnetic fields for orientation, like birds, whales, and other migratory animals, could encounter.
So the animals and everything move along with it? Like they're just normal and they gotta migrate a little more out to those? Like, how does that work? I'm so confused. Everything just moves along with it. Like the penguins don't even know that they're moving closer. They're moving away from Canada closer to a whole other country?
Problems too. But
Like the sea turtle, they don't notice this?
no need to panic. There's no evidence of mass extinctions from geomagnetic reversals in the past. At least for now.
Yo, this is crazy. The
While
W
Earth's
video.
magnetic field can divide and confuse, let me tell you about a place that brings people together despite the division. The Haskell Free Library and Opera House stands at the border between Stansted, Quebec and Derby Line, Vermont. Built in 1904, it was intentionally placed on the border as a symbol of unity. It's a library that belongs to two countries. The library's reading room is in Canada, but its front door is in the US.
Yeah.
It also has the Opera House. The stage is in Canada, but the audience sits in the US. The library was built by the philanthropist family with the name Haskell. It was meant as a gift for people on both sides of the border, and
I actually learned about this on my free time as well. And, you know, me being weird, I was like, I had time on my hands. You know, I went ahead and looked it up, looking at the inside, the outside, looking at the homes and everything. And I'm like, how does this work? You know, I was thinking like a dual citizenship, but I'm like, how does this really work, you know? I live over here in the U.S., you live right here in Canada. Can I just cross over? So people talk about, no, you got to go to the border and you got to cross that way. If you cross that line, it's illegal. What you mean it's illegal? Why would I go? Why would I drive mad long just to get right back across the street from where I live? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Somebody please explain that to me. It doesn't make sense. I was thinking like a dual citizenship. I wasn't sure. But, yeah.
as a symbol of friendship.
I could.
Inside, you will see a
sound
black
crazy.
line running through the floor to mark the international boundary. So technically, you could grab a book in Canada, then sit down and read it in the US without even going through customs. Today, the Haskell-free library
Okay.
is one of the only places in the world where you can casually hang out in two countries at once. And honestly, it's the most Canadian thing ever, a place to bring people together no matter where they're from.
So how's it going so far? How many new interesting facts did you learn? Here's one more quirky piece
Wow.
of Canadian history for you.
You know, I feel I'm not disappointed in myself, just a little shocked. Like, I let up crazy. 10 new things learned. Wow. There's always something new to learn. Just when you think you would know it all, you get humbled. And that's why I love what I do.
Canada is home to the world's smallest jail. Как это произносится?
Yeold.
Yeold. Yeold Jail, located in Rodney, Ontario, measures just
Yeah.
25 square meters. That's about the size of a single car garage. The building still has its original steel cell doors, stove, and a yellow brick exterior. Built in 1890, this tiny jail was less of a prison and more of a cooling-off station for rowdy locals and passing travelers. With just 2 cramped cells, it was never meant for long-term stays. Think of it as the 19th century version of a timeout corner for adults. Today, the Rodney jail hasn't held prisoners in decades. Instead, it's
So this is back before they extorted you. Now you gotta pay a bond. Sometimes you got lawyer fees. You get a little public attorney. Stays all right. You playing with your life at that point because they don't care. They get paid regardless. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot to the game
become
now.
a charming tourist attraction. Locals even celebrate it as part of the town's unique heritage. When I was
cool.
moving to Canada, some people kept stressing how boring it was. But the more I learn about this country, the more fascinated I get.
Facts.
From underwater salt mines and
Man, don't get me started on that one. Cause that was crazy. Talk about the CN Tower Toronto could fit under there. What? What?
the island of wild horses to the library built on the border and green energy obsession, Canada is nothing but boring, if you take the time to know it. Which of the facts surprised you the most?
And that's exactly why I'm glad I created this channel and started this journey. You know? Let's stop listening to what people are saying around the world because, you know, they are too lazy to go and educate themselves. 10 new more things I just learned today. Got the knowledge just like that, man. Feel free to educate me down below in the comments on anything you would like to add to this list or maybe anything that possibly went over my head. Everyone feel free to check out the Twitch and Patreon in the description down below and let me know as a Canadian or if you just come from another country, did you happen to learn anything new from this video? Were you shocked by what you learned? This is crazy, man.